Hi, Jim. So today we're going to be going over G major and the G major scale and G major chords, a lot of which we've already gone over and it's attached in the audio lesson. However, I just want to reiterate a couple of points in this short video. So first off, we talked about anchors when switching chords and giving us easier transitions and making our chord to chords smoother. The first one we went over was C to A minor. Now, we had talked about this in the sense that it's very economic to only move your ring finger. So on our C, our ring finger is on our 3rd fret, A string. Now we're only going to move that finger to our 2nd fret on our G string, and then we have A minor. And both chords are only strumming the top 5 strings. And one thing that you want to keep in mind when doing this is you can still move your index and middle finger around on the frets because you're going to have to adjust. You see how these guys move up and down on the fret? That's because we have to make room for our ring finger when it goes to the G string, and we have to scoot all of them up when it goes down to the A. However, with this being said, it's still quite easy just to move one finger. The next anchor we have is from G to D, and in this one we are having our, again, it's all about the ring finger. The ring finger is planted on this one. So it stays on the 3rd fret B string. Everything else is going to be pivoting around it, and with this one you don't even need to move or adjust your ring finger. It just stays right where it is. And I know it's a bigger jump than C to A minor. However, with this one, it's once you get the hang of where your fingers are supposed to go, it is actually just as smooth and seamless. One thing to bear in mind when doing this one is to anticipate your middle finger having to jump from the lowest string all the way up to the highest string. That's the biggest hurdle, I think. And your index finger actually stays on the 2nd fret line. It just moves from the A string to the G string. So and your pinky is actually going to be down on your 3rd fret E string, and all it takes is just lifting it up once your middle finger gets there. So it takes a little bit more coordination than C to A minor, but once you get it, they're just as easy and just as fun. Next we have the G major scale. Now I'll play it slower. 1, 2, 3, 4. So for this scale, I'd like us to practice our alternate picking for now. The whole scale will be alternate picking. Bear in mind, this isn't the most economic way to play the scale. However, it will get your right and left hand synced up in order to play the most economic techniques for this scale. One thing to keep in mind when you're doing the scale is to practice leaving and arriving at each note smoothly, as opposed to, because it's easy to go from smooth and then to emulate a short, like the staccato attack, rather than practicing a short staccato attack and and then emulating a legato. The legato takes more precision and expertise. However, so does staccato, but I think a legato is a much better way to utilize your tone and the guitar. So when we're doing the scale, we want to anticipate each note before we get there. So that means if you're playing with, and I want you to also assign each finger for a fret. So second fret gets first finger, third fret gets second finger, fourth fret gets third finger, and the fifth fret gets the fourth finger. So all these fingers are exactly glued to these frets, so we don't have to move our hand at all. So once we're going from our G to A, which are the first two notes, and you're playing with your middle finger, already have your pinky floating above that next string. Now when you go to the next string, you should already be ready to play that next fret, or that next note, I should say. So already have your index finger hovering above that B, and so on. And you see how my index finger just moved like this? It's a very subtle movement, but check it out. When it does that, that's when you know that you're ready to play that. And you should be able to. So it's almost like you're playing it before you're playing it. But that's one thing to practice that'll really get your tone sounding very warm, full, robust if you wanted to, and you can also have it sound really thin. But to play the scale like this, I think, is a far higher level of mastery than just to play the notes, because it's more than notes. It's the way we play the notes. Jim, I hope this video has helped you, and I look forward to seeing your progressions. Have a great week, and I'll see you soon.